All right, I'm Sean Howard, and welcome back to this week's Lesson Tech Helps for Canvas teachers. This week, I'm going to focus on the learning assessment. Now, as online teachers, you actually have two options for the learning assessment. If you prefer to do the learning assessment on your Zoom day for the week, please look at the Zoom Lesson Tech Help for this week to give you some suggestions and ideas on how to do the assessment over Zoom this week. You're going to be using the Doctor Mastery Assessment Review number 1 and having a group experience. And that might be the preferable way if possible. But if that doesn't seem to work into your schedule, as an online teacher, you do have the option to give your students the assessment in Canvas. And there's actually a Canvas lesson quiz for the assessment built into the Canvas course, and I'll show you where that's at. But if a student misses, if you did do it over Zoom and a student misses the day, then you could give them the Canvas assignment as well and have them complete that. And then at the end of whichever way that you do it, you just give a score of 100 in WISE to the students that participated in the assessment and a 0 to those students that would have been absent or not participated at all in the assessment. They could always make that up later, but we want to record that as we go throughout. So if you are going to give the assessment in Canvas and have the students do it that way, that is a possibility. What you're going to first need to do is identify and find out which week the Doctor Mastery Assessment 2 is. Where is it at? Mine right now is in December 4th through 10th, but you may have to move that around. Remember, if you want to move it to a different week once you find it, you just gotta move it wherever you want. And then it's always good to check, maybe open that up and check, do you have a due date? Do you want to assign a due date? Do you need to change the due date or the availability date of that assessment when you move it or put it in a new place? If you click on this Doctor Mastery Assessment, it's just built as a quiz. And so they simply will just go through and do the quiz. Now there's just a few questions. Question number 1 deals with references and encourages them to see how well they know the references. Ask them to please not use their scriptures for that portion of the quiz. Question number 2 on the assessment, ask them to, again, identify some passages that you've studied this semester to help in these scenarios. And so they're having to apply what they've learned and what they know about the Doctor Mastery Scriptures and how that doctrine applies to our lives. Question 3, demonstrate your knowledge of ability to use the principles of acquiring spiritual knowledge. Again, they're just applying the things and showing. And question 4, great scenario of a friend in high school that's nervous about a few things, and you're going to help them through acquiring spiritual knowledge. So they're going to display what they understand. And question number 5, of the 13 Doctor Mastery passages you study this year, which one has impacted you the most? If you're going to do it this way, you might give them a chance and a heads up on what they're going to be asked to share so they can be thinking about that ahead of time. Now, if you do it this way, then you will need to go into the grade book, and that's where you're going to see the students' quizzes and how they did, and so you're going to make sure to follow up there as well. If you do it over Zoom in class, you're simply just going to take attendance and give them credit for the quiz or the assessment too. So I hope that helps. Have a great experience whichever way that you do it, and just try to encourage your students to really look at it as a great way to just review and think about the things that they've studied over the semester and have one last good experience with those things. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. We'd be happy to answer those. Have a great week and enjoy the rest of your semester.